Betty, it's Desiree, and I'm back with another process video today. I want to apologize from the beginning, the how it's filmed vertical. I don't know why it does that. I record the same way like I always do, so I don't know why this does it every once in a while, but it only lasts for a minute, I promise. Alright, so how I got started with this layout. Ashely Horton and Missy Whitten, I don't know if they're collaborating on a series, but if they are, I'm really excited about it. But they just recently each of them posted a video using a sketch. And Ashely Horton starts off showing you how to use the sketch on your silhouette. And I didn't really take the time to do that. So what I did was I grabbed the two things that were on my workspace, which was my water cup and just a tin. And then I traced it with a pencil, and then I grabbed my paper piercer by Sizzix, and I punched little holes so that way I could do all my stitching. And then I show you the embroidery floss that I'm going to use for my layout today. So the collection that I'm using is by My Mind's Eye, called Boy Crazy. I bought the actual, I guess, the paper kit where it comes with like the papers, one of each paper, and then like the sticker sheet, the enamel dots, the brads, and the buttons, cardboard buttons or chipboard buttons. However, I'm not sure if that line had any ephemera. It is older, so I don't know if at that time they were making ephemera packs. So I didn't really have a whole lot to go with this layout. So I had to kind of get creative, and that's where this cut apart sheet comes in. At first I thought I was going to use We're Quite a Pair, but there's 3 of us, so I knew that wasn't going to work. And then I thought, oh, the sky's the limit. I grabbed the sticker sheet, and I noticed that there were cars in it. And then as I'm thinking about the cars, I try something else and with that circle sticker, and that doesn't work. And then I see that word Zoom. And during that time when I'm looking at the cars, because I'm thinking, where am I going to use all this, like Joyride, and where am I going to use cars in a layout? I remember my son had, when he was 1, he had that battery operated Jeep, that they cruise around in the neighborhood thinking they're mommy and daddy. And I can't remember if I got any photos of my son or my daughter driving it, which I'm really kind of bummed about, because it was just, you're like in the moment and you're watching your kids playing and you don't have a camera on it, and or camera on you, and you're just not thinking about it. Well, I think that might be one of those times. I don't know. I'm just gonna have to look back on my photos and see if I actually have, any. But I thought to myself, what am I going to use those cars for? There's so many like cars and like car references. The Zoom and then the Joyride. And I thought, I just don't know when I'm ever going to use cars. I mean, when he's 16, it'd be too kiddish, I think, for his layout when he gets his license. So, and I don't even want to rush that. But yeah, so that's when I come up with my title, which, oh my gosh, when I'm done with this layout, you will see why I'm so excited. I love my title. I was thinking about it, and then I remember what my parents always say to me, and now I say it to my kids, and I use the car icon to reference the title. Okay, so I feel like I just did like a huge speech on my title. So let me focus back on this layout. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and layer the leftover sticker that you see behind my husband's photo. And then I think I'm going to use that frame that framed the speech bubble. And I actually like the look of it right now behind my photo, but I don't end up using it. And it's whenever there's a cut in a piece of paper like that from something that I had to cut into, it doesn't bother me to just adhere it and kind of cover it up. In fact, if my husband, once I put the photo down of my husband, it would have been covered up, but it just didn't sit right once I tried to reapply it, I guess you could say, like reposition the frame. Then I'm going to grab those cars, and I am going, even though I have foam numbers behind the 2 photos, I definitely want to add more dimension. So I am going to use those foam numbers to adhere to the car stickers. And I'm going to do that for both of them. And then I'm going to grab, since there's no sticky on the one side, I'm going to use my dot roller, adhesive roller, to add adhesive to it so that way it can adhere to the paper. Sorry for being so tongue twisted. I think I've tried to record this now like 10 times and I keep getting interrupted and by my kids and the phone's ringing and I'm just like, ugh. What have I talked about and what have I not talked about? All right. So here I go adhering those stickers to the other car. And I really like how the two cars came together where they're facing each other. And then it just kind of nestles the picture, you know, all together. And I really like the look of that. And then I think next is where I start to, let's see, what am I going to do? Oh, the brads. Okay, so I left all this part in so that way you can see how I try different things, like that circle sticker. I grabbed the brads, and then on that sticker sheet there were star stickers. And I thought about I was going to use those on my layout, and I decided against it, and I thought maybe I could use the buttons. Didn't like the buttons either, and I end up in the end going with the brads. Next, I'm just adding faux stitching around that speech bubble. And do I adhere it? No, I think I kind of, something was bugging me on it, and I ended up snipping a little extra piece of the paper around that speech bubble because it was just driving me nuts. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and place that there. And then, oh, here comes, is it the title next? Okay, no, it's the Freckled Fawn. Okay, so these are just from an old kit when they first came out with them. And I try to use them on many layouts, and these are what I have left. And I realize I have a red and an orange one, and that works perfect because those are the two colors that are in my layout. And they just say love you, and I'm going to use those two hearts in that blue circle right there. Next, I'm adhering that speech bubble finally. I finally decided, yes, that is where it's going to go. And I'm still not sure about those hearts, but I realize I want the title in the red circle, and this is where I come up with the title. The stickers I end up using, the letter stickers, are from Fancy Pants, At the Shore, and Provocraft, a really old sticker sheet of Provocraft. It ends up being the white letters. Those don't make it on the layout. I'm trying to figure out if I have enough letters. And this is my title. So it says, slow down, you're growing too fast. And I think something as far as all of us parents say to our kids, I remember my parents would always, still to this day, they're like, we would give anything to go back in time to when you and your sister were little. And that's exactly how I feel about my kids. Yeah, time just really does go by so fast. I mean, my daughter is now 7 and my son is 8, so you're seeing little baby pictures of them because I'm now working on their second year album. So okay, so then I finally commit to those hearts that say love you, and I'm gonna grab the chipboard buttons. And because I did stitching, I'm like, maybe instead of brads, I'll actually use these buttons. So I really lightly place them on my layout and make sure that they don't adhere to it so it doesn't rip when I remove them, because I end up not going with them. I picked the few that I liked because there's also plastic ones in that package, but I just didn't like the look of it for some reason. So I'll just use them on another layout. And then I did grab quite a few different styles of brads and that I thought I might use, and I end up going with these ones where they're exactly the same but just different colors, and it ends up being all the colors that are in the collection, which they would be because they're from the same collection. But I grabbed that paper piercer tool again from Sizzix, and I can't remember if I told you this, but it's the one from Amazon, and that's it, guys. Oh no, it's not it actually. So I'm thinking I'm done, and then I remembered I want ink splatters, so I grabbed my Picket Fence by Tim Holtz, and I grabbed the ephemera packaging, that plastic like casing kind of that comes around the package, to cover my photos, and I almost went with a small one, and I wish, I thought my camera was recording this, but I'm not kidding you. I end up going last minute, no, I'll just grab the biggest one. It's all right, I'll just move it if I don't get the ink splatters exactly where I want them. And I'm not kidding you, a huge glop of it fell smack down in the middle of my photo. But thank goodness that plastic thing was there to save the day. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you all enjoyed this process video. I will talk to you again on my next one. It should be up within probably about 2 days. Thanks for joining me. Bye.